Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that an entire civilization has vanished. No messages, no explanations, no clear signs of what happened. Just silence. It sounds like the plot of a mystery novel, but it has happened in real history. And the truth is even stranger than fiction. Across the world, archaeologists have uncovered ruins of once thriving societies that disappeared without leaving a clear record of why. Cities abandoned. Monuments left behind. Peoples who once shaped their regions, suddenly gone. And today, we are going to explore 5 of the most mysterious civilizations that vanished without a trace. By the end, you will not only know their stories, but you will also see how fragile human history really is, and maybe even wonder what might one day happen to us. Let ES begin with a civilization that still echoes through myths and legends. The Indus Valley Civilization. Imagine a society so advanced that while Europe was still living in scattered tribal groups, they had organized cities with plumbing, straight streets, and complex trade systems. They flourished around 4,500 years ago in what is now Pakistan and northwest India. The cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro were masterpieces of planning, streets arranged in grids, houses built with uniform bricks, drains and sewage systems that would make some modern cities jealous. And yet, one day, this civilization simply stopped. Archaeologists found abandoned streets, half-completed buildings, and no evidence of war or invasion. How could such a powerful society disappear? Some say climate change shifted the rivers they depended on. Others suggest disease spread rapidly through the dense cities. The truth remains hidden. All we have are ruins, whispers of a people who mastered organization but left no written explanation of their fall. Now, picture yourself on a mysterious island in the Pacific, thousands of kilometers from anywhere else. Easter Island, known to its native people as Rapa Nui. You've seen the giant stone statues, the moai, with their solemn faces staring at the horizon. But the mystery is not just about how those statues were built. It's about the people who built them. The Rapa Nui developed a unique culture, carving and moving massive statues with primitive tools. But at some point, their civilization collapsed. The population dropped dramatically, resources were exhausted, and the society seemed to eat itself alive. Was it deforestation? Was it overpopulation? Was it contact with Europeans bringing new diseases? Nobody knows for certain. All that remains are the statues, silent guardians of a people who once thrived, then vanished into the silence of history. Walking among those statues, you can feel both admiration for their ambition and sorrow for their disappearance. Let's travel now to the heart of the Americas, where another great civilization rose and fell without explanation: the Maya. Unlike the Aztecs or the Incas, whose destruction was largely the result of conquest, the Maya disappeared long before Europeans arrived in their main cities. The Maya built massive pyramids, cities hidden in the jungle, observatories to study the stars. They were brilliant mathematicians and astronomers. They invented one of the most accurate calendars in human history. And then, in the 9th century, something happened. Cities were abandoned. Temples were left unfinished. The jungle swallowed entire urban centers. There was no single event that historians can point to. Maybe it was a long drought that destroyed their crops. Maybe constant wars between rival cities drained their resources. Or maybe disease crept through their lands. Whatever the reason, one of the most sophisticated civilizations of the Americas collapsed, leaving behind stone pyramids covered by vines and countless questions that remain unanswered. From the tropical jungles, let's move to the frozen north. to a people known as the Norse Greenlanders. Around the year 1000, Vikings sailed across the Atlantic and established colonies in Greenland. Imagine their courage, leaving Norway and Iceland to build farms in one of the harshest environments on Earth. And for centuries, they thrived. They raised cattle, built churches, traded ivory carved from walrus tusks. But by the 1400s, their settlements were empty. The farms were abandoned, the churches silent. What happened? Was it climate change, as the world entered the Little Ice Age and growing food became nearly impossible? Was it conflict with the native Inuit, who knew the land better? Or did disease or famine simply wipe them out? Nobody has ever found a clear record. What we do know is that a society that managed to survive in one of the most extreme corners of the planet simply vanished, leaving ruins buried in the ice. It is a reminder that even the most determined pioneers can disappear if nature decides against them. And now we come to one of the greatest mysteries of them all, the ancestral Puebloans, also known as the Anasazi. In the cliffs of the American Southwest, they built incredible homes carved into the sides of mountains, villages suspended in stone, connected by ladders and hidden pathways. Their architecture still amazes visitors today, but around the 13th century, they abandoned these settlements. Entire cliff cities, once full of families, were left behind. No one knows exactly why. Some suggest a long drought made farming impossible. Others believe conflicts within the community or invasions by rival tribes forced them out. All we know is that one day, these stone villages were filled with life, and the next, they were silent. Standing in front of their abandoned cliff dwellings, you can almost hear the echoes of children playing, families talking, daily life continuing, until suddenly it stopped. So, what do all these civilizations have in common? They were advanced for their time. They created structures and systems that seemed destined to last forever. And yet, they did not. They faced challenges, environmental, social, or disease-related, that proved too much to overcome. And what's most unsettling is how little we really know about their endings. History leaves us with fragments, ruins, hints of stories, but no complete answers. That is what makes them so fascinating. They force us to confront the reality that nothing lasts forever, not even great civilizations. And here's the part that should make us think. If entire peoples with brilliant innovations and strong cultures could disappear, what does that say about us? We like to think of ourselves as untouchable, protected by technology and global connections. But are we? Climate change, resource exhaustion, wars, diseases, all of these still exist today. The mysteries of the past aren't just stories, they're warnings. The Indus Valley people might remind us that water is precious. The Rapa Nui show us what happens when resources are overused. The Maya warn us about ecological collapse and endless conflict. The Norse Greenlanders remind us that even the strongest pioneers can fail if they can't adapt. And the Puebloans show us that community is fragile, easily broken by environmental or social stress. These aren't just stories about the past, they're lessons for the present. Now, I want you to imagine this. 1,000 years from now, archaeologists of the future dig through the ruins of our cities. Skyscrapers half buried, highways cracked and covered in vines. What will they say about us? Will they wonder how such a global civilization collapsed? Will they search for the reasons why billions of people left behind so much, and yet could not survive? It's a chilling thought. But that's exactly how we look at the civilizations that came before us. They thought they would last forever. But history had other plans. The beauty of these mysteries is that they keep us curious. Every discovery of a new ruin, every piece of pottery, every skeleton uncovered tells us a little more, but never the whole story. And maybe that's the point. Maybe part of the legacy of these civilizations is the mystery itself. They remind us of the fragility of human achievement. They humble us, and they make us appreciate what we have, because we know it can be taken away. So when you think about the Indus Valley, Easter Island, the Maya, the Norse Greenlanders, and the ancestral Puebloans, don't just think of them as ancient history. Think of them as mirrors. They show us what can happen when we fail to adapt, when we take too much from our environment, when we fight among ourselves instead of finding unity. They are the silent teachers of history, and their disappearance is a mystery that demands we pay attention. If you've stayed with me through this journey, you know now just how incredible and fragile human history is. Entire civilizations can vanish, leaving behind only whispers. That thought should fill us with both wonder and caution. Wonder, because of the incredible achievements of those who came before us. Caution, because of how quickly it can all be lost. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these civilizations do you think holds the greatest mystery? Which disappearance fascinates you the most? Share your thoughts, start a conversation. And if you want to keep exploring stories like these, subscribe so you never miss the next journey. History is full of secrets, and together we can uncover them one by one.